Hello, dear Sagittarius. I am Jamie Dawn, your evolutionary revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your February 2022 horoscope. We start the month with Venus now direct in the sign of Capricorn, further activating your second house. And we have the new moon in Aquarius on the 1st, activating your third house. And this should be a really exciting time for you Sagittarius who have a Sag moon, sun, or rising sign, especially after Mercury goes direct on Friday the 4th. So it's a big first week of the month, but you're probably not going to feel all the major blessings and effects of it until second, third week of February. Because we also have Venus, like I mentioned, direct in Capricorn. She is canoodling with Mars most of this month. Mars moved into the sign of Capricorn where it's exalted in your second house. And so the two of them, the cosmic lovers, are coming together. And so the first week is a nice indicator of how your values and your resources, maybe the things that you do for your income, because the income provides you the ability to buy possessions or to express your values. I always say, if you want to know what someone values, look at where they spend their resources, their time, their money, their energy. So if somebody like yourself may value relationships, then you're probably going to spend most of your time and attention on a particular relationship, especially with Venus and Mars being all about love and romance, what we value, our finances. But the two of these coming together, Mars being sexuality. So see Mars as being that driver, that one that has so much passion. And in the sign of Capricorn, it will stop at nothing to achieve its goals. And Venus will help to attract the opportunities and the people and the relationships in your life that you need in order to feel as though you are in alignment with your values and with yourself. And if you're not, then you can use this new moon in Aquarius in that third house to think about, to make some decisions, to contemplate. This isn't necessarily an action time because a new moon isn't really the time for action. It's usually the first quarter moon, which happens to be the following week or 7 days after that new moon. And then, of course, we have a full moon 2 weeks after the new moon. That happens to be on the 16th in the sign of Leo, and that will activate more of that third and ninth house. So the first week of February, use that as a time to really stay internal, set some intentions about, are the people and places and things in my life, do they add value? Where can I add more value? Maybe I need to think out of the box. Maybe I need to have some unusual conversations with that third house being active. And maybe some of the decisions that I'm about to make or the things that I'm about to say, they may not line up with somebody else's idea of what they value or their idea even of me. And so I need to set some healthy boundaries. Maybe I need to allow others to adjust to this, but I also may need to have a conversation that causes a setup, if you will, for that full moon in Leo, where you release a particular relationship or a particular thing into the world and let it go out of your life because it doesn't line up with what your heart truly needs in order to be the best version of themselves. And so I will also say that when Mercury goes direct on the 4th, it stays in shadow about 10 days after. So you may not feel the pickup right away on Friday the 4th, but that second week of February, you could start to see some momentum building. And because this is affecting your third and second houses, this has a lot to do with you communicating and making decisions. Maybe you are sending something out into the world. You're finally ready to release a book, or maybe you're in something like talk therapy where you end up sharing and listening deeply to other people's problems or other people's viewpoint. You help them reframe it. Some of you may be releasing like a program that you've put together or some form of teaching and learning that allows you to be able to help others in a very powerful way. And I say that because Mercury is in the sign of Capricorn right now. It retrograded back to Capricorn and it moves forward into Aquarius, but not until the 14th of February. I'll get to that in a second. But with Mercury retrograded back into the sign of Capricorn, Pluto's at its last degrees of Capricorn. So they're going to canoodle that on February 3rd, right before Mercury goes direct, and then a second time on the 11th. So there's some very powerful, big decisions, power plays. You may be in a situation where people's opinions are trying to control your decision-making process. If you're not careful, you could very easily fly off the handle and say some things you may regret. So I put this into place now, especially if you're dealing with authority figures, father figures, people who you feel have more power than you over a subject matter or over maybe possessions. I know that there's a lot of us who will exchange money and say, hey, I'll give you this if you give me that strings attached kind of thing. So the invitation here is to stay true to yourself. How do you not get in a power struggle with somebody? And that is, you hear their opinion, their view with the intention to understand, but not to compromise your own values. And you may be really questioning that at the very beginning of the month. However, second half of the month, here we have February 14th. Of course, it's the Valentine's Day commercialized love day. I don't think you should have one day that you just say, I love you, say it all the time. But I do feel that some of you who are either in a new relationship or one that has been a little tumultuous, but you finally found some common ground and were able to get back on the same page. Now, this first part of February, the two of you may deepen that connection, may deepen that by sharing and declaring how much you love each other. Maybe there's that revisiting of, what are we really doing here? What do we really want? And how do we solidify that in real ways? And you'll be probably strategizing and planning a future with this beloved. And here on February 14th, Mercury re-enters Aquarius, activating that third house, telling me that it very much could make your conversations with this particular person really beautiful, because it can take some of the emotions and not make them so real and give you some of that objective view, so that when you're planning and you're saying, do we have the same values? Are we in alignment with where we see ourselves in the future? Do we both want this relationship? This is an opportunity to be able to have it without getting easily offended. You know, in today's age, we get offended by everything. So this is a chance for us to have a conversation that maybe feels a little less offensive and more of like, it's just the facts. And the fact is, I love you. And the fact is that we vibe together and I really like that. And you may also find yourself planning maybe a short trip somewhere just out of town, not necessarily across the waters, but somewhere that you can drive to easily and just have a chance to share big ideas with each other. And that, we know that our words are a way of creating intimacy as well. Going back to this full moon on the 16th, again, that third and ninth house, Venus and Mars will have a canoodling session. And so this can be a very sexy time. This can be a time where, again, the two of you may decide that you want to announce something to the world. Hey, we're pregnant. Hey, we've started dating. We're in a committed relationship. We're moving in together. You know, all those things that come along with it. And people will find that you take it very seriously here and that you have a chance to be able to build something together over time. Now, if you're a single Sag and you're looking for love, this particular week, the February 14th week and this full moon, then the sun enters Pisces, activating that fourth house of yours on the 18th. I feel like that whole second week of February is going to have some very sweet moments to socialize, to be able to express yourself in this beautiful, unique way, coming from the heart, and being able to say, you know what, the person that I'm going to end up partnering with is going to have the heart-centered energy. It's not about like-minded, it's about like-hearted. And the sun entering Pisces in that fourth house, there can be some beautiful healing, some compassion, some imagination. Maybe there's some new artwork that you've been wanting to purchase and you held off until Mercury went direct, and you held off until Venus was direct. Well, here, the sun entering Pisces. Pisces is a very creative and artful kind of sign. Great time to beautify the home, take on that home project, or if you meet somebody new romantically, the relationship itself can make you feel like home, which can be very healing. Some of you Sages have some ancestral wounding that after the 18th, now you can start to see some of that soothing. And it's really about who supports that with you, who brings out the best in you, or who is it that you would connect with and spend time with that you like who you are when you're with them. This can all become very clear second half of February. I'll also offer, this is another pin on the map, Sages, is that some of you may be saying goodbye. We're always having one foot on grace and one on grief. And there may be a few of us who experience grief during this time, because there's that letting go. It could be a physical person, a family member, a parental figure here in that fourth house. If that is you, just know that you have a support system. Let them lean in on you. Let them lift you up. If you're not dealing with a physical loss of anybody or anything like that, it just may be that you release all the past wounding and that you're able to really own the fact that you can establish your home in a way that makes you and the person or people in your home that really you call beloved, you can make them feel as though they belong there and that it just feels like home. There's this returning back to yourself that second half of February. So do that work, do that internal work, beginning of February. Who aligns with my values? What are my values? And where have I compromised them that I cannot compromise any longer? And reset them and then communicate that. And also remember that the people that you feel the closest with, that you feel safe and that you can trust, are the ones that you share these words of wisdom with. If it's a product, if it's something you've put together because you want to help heal the world with your words or with speaking, with writing, anything along those lines, that also is a beautiful expression. And let that be something that drives you as you continue to build the coffers, because you'll see the more you are doing what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And you'll be able to see how the universe draws to you the opportunities. And your job is just to say yes. All right, Sag, I really hope this helps. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. Come find me at jamiedawn.com, and I look forward to working with you. Have such a great month.